going to show you very briefly how essential, how important language is and how much it is connected to decolonizing spaces, as well as empowering people, various communities, and individuals through the use of language and the language in which we use and how we frame certain events in certain conversations. Here we have 3 different sentences that unconsciously and also unintentionally apply fault to the actual oppressed individual or the person from the chronically oppressed community. The first sentence that we have is, "This woman was assaulted because she's a woman." The second sentence is, "Trans women are being unalived for being trans." And then the last sentence that we have here, "A Black student was bullied and harassed because they're Black." This may be seemingly innocuous, and of course, it is a part of many people's everyday conversations, the way in which they speak, and it is done, again, very unintentionally and also unconsciously, and there's not much consideration that's taken for how we actually frame words or the importance of recognizing the specific subject in question or the subject that we are speaking about in a sentence, and then also how we are applying fault to that specific subject for an act or transgression that was done to them. Okay, so now I'm going to show you all the more liberatory or more correct, more empowering way to say statements like this, and hopefully you'll be able to apply this to your lives every day as well as in the future. The woman was assaulted because she's the victim of misogyny. Or, this woman was assaulted by a sexist misogynist. The important thing to really pay attention to here is that both of these statements are applying or identifying the reason why this happened and also who did this, who committed this act, this transgression, this assault, this harm, rather than how in the first example that I provided you all with, it's essentially saying that the victim themselves is the reason why this is happening to them. Trans women are being unalived because of transphobia. Once again, this is placing the appropriate responsibility onto the assailant or onto the, in this case, the socio-institutional reason of why this is proliferating throughout our country. A Black student was bullied and harassed by anti-Black racist people. So then the question is, how does a person become more conscious, more aware of the language that they use, how they're framing certain words, even if done unintentionally? How does one actually become more liberation centered or more empowering in their speech, in their language, right? One of the elements that you can take from this book is this process of becoming aware that he speaks about. He coined the term conscientization, right? And I absolutely love that because it is literally the process of becoming aware, becoming more conscious. Now, how does one do that? Or one of the tools that I have given to many clients in the past and many other organizations with whom I have worked is very simply, you can create or you can obtain either a physical journal or you can create a digital journal. One of the things that you can do, just like someone would with an exercise journal or with a food diary or anything of that nature, you can actually record yourself and list the number of times that you have said a specific word that, and you get to choose this word on your own, that you find to be sort of the opposite or the antithesis of who you want to be if it's not a reflection of you. Or if you find yourself using language like what I showed you at the beginning of the video, that unintentionally places fault onto the individual or onto the community that's being victimized, simply write down the number of times that you say this, but also write down either a word or phrase that you want to use to replace that. It's very similar to the process of unlearning specific habits, right? We have to unlearn and retrain our minds to think in a different way. Now, this is also talked about in many spaces around neuroscience or neurology, and how we have to train our brains to create new neural pathways so that we can function differently. So to end this video, I will leave you all with a quote from Angela Carter. Language is power, life, and the instrument of culture, the instrument of domination and liberation. If you all have enjoyed this very first video from a new series that I am calling DEI Under 5, where I give you all tools, resources, and information of all things DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, please let me know by liking the video and also follow for more. If you all have specific content that you would like to see in this specific series, please let me know if you have ideas or questions about that. And if you have more questions about DEI consultation services, please visit the link in the bio. And thank you all for watching.